Hey friends, welcome to a breakdown of the Getup, which happens to be my favorite all-time kettlebell exercise, which can also be done body weight and with various other things. But anyways, the key to this thing is finding these exact angles and building bridges for the load. So what I always like to do is I like to start with just doing a top-down one to wake everything up. So make sure you got a nice clear area. Last thing you want to do is be stepping back on something, and go ahead and mirror me through this. So right arm up. We're going to take a step back with the left leg with a goal of landing very quietly on the knee. Controlled, boom. So now we need to open up this hip, which is going to allow us to hinge freely here. I always place my hand here. Gives me a reminder of where my hand needs to go on the down. So from here, go ahead and take that hand down. Just root this in. There should be a straight line from hand to knee to ankle. Now we're going to be watching the imaginary kettlebell here. I want you to think about squishing a bug and making this shoulder nice and strong. Drag through, landing nice and tall. Shoulder stays away from the ear. Sit back to the elbow. And then from here, we're going to push back and away. Now we're going to repeat that going up. So pick an imaginary target on the ceiling and look through your finger in the target and try and stay on that target as we go through the position. So we're going to come up to elbow, pause, transfer to palm, pause, drag through, get under the load, up. Then we're going to windshield wiper back to railroad tracks and stand. Shake that out a little bit, then we're just going to do that on the other side. Big step back, quiet knee. Open hip, touch, draw your straight line, screw in, back and away, find your target, drive back up, pause, palm, screw that in, make it strong, drag through, hinge under, pop up, back on railroad tracks, and stand. So I like to get up for several reasons. One is when you can't get up off the ground on your own power anymore, life becomes rather limiting, right? So we're going to do a few drills now, working to get up from the ground up. Without a kettlebell first. We always start the get up in a nice fetal position, stacked. Imaginary bell will be here. So as you're doing this drill, think about having a kettlebell in such a position. So from here, first stage is roll over to torso, not to chest. Press up with two arms. Call this the firing range position. From here, you're making a safety check. Does this load, imaginary load, feel right? Everything feel good? If not, you just simply park it. But anyway, prop up. Now we're going to drop the off hand and off leg. Very important that we drop to 45-degree angles. This leg is... the setup is about as wide as what your deadlift would be. But anyways, 45-degree angle, and just for now, we're just gonna bring it up here, bring it back down, repeat. So step one, roll over, press up, drop. Take it back. All right, so now that we've got this under control, we're gonna take it up to the elbow position. So as we drop down, my first thought is I'm anti-shrugging. I'm trying to keep my shoulders away from the ears. I'm finding my imaginary target on the ceiling, and as we drive up, the goal is to keep this shoulder down and packed. Kind of a roll to up. And then you wanna pause here nice and tall. You know you're in a good position if the fist is drawing a straight line through the shoulder all the way down to that elbow. I can support a load here for a long time. If I'm here and cocked, there's no way that I'm gonna be able to support a load, and also it's gonna be detrimental to my shoulder health versus positive. So anyways, we're gonna find that, and as you come down, you push away, come up. Just stay here for a second, and then repeat. Drive up, pause nice and tall, back and away. One more. Drive up, pause, back and away. So now that we've made it to the elbow, one of the things I think about is as I'm going through this get up, I'm building bridges for this load, right? So the elbow position, this, and this heel, these are the support beams for the load. Now we got to transfer it to the palm, taking us one step closer. The big thing to think about here is, just because you're set up here doesn't mean your palm has to go here. Based on your levers, I know through thousands of get-ups that I have to just slide it back here just a little bit, right? So you just got to find this angle that works for you. So anyways, once we get up to the palm, thought is screw this in. You don't want this shoulder shrugged here. There's no way I'm going to be able to hold 106 pounds here for long, right? So you need to build that bridge, right? You're actually building supports for this bell. And then the big thing is here is when you transfer back to elbow, that you again land stacked and packed. Now this is supporting the load, right? If you come down to here and collapse into it, a big bell's going to beat you every single time, right? So anyways, so let's get here. Let's go back to fetal, just for the heck of it, and kind of work through these little positions real quick. So fetal position, roll it over, press it up with two hands, drop the off hand and off arm to 45-degree angles. Notice this is kind of a 45-degree angle coming off of my shoulder, and it's matching my leg. If I'm out here, and I try and come up to my elbow to build that bridge, this angle right here is not going to support the load, right? So that's why it's so important to always line up in a 45-degree angle. So anyways, here we go. Push up to elbow, transfer to palm, bam. Now that we have this strong, and this strong, we're able to do this leg sweep. And now as I drag that leg sweep through, remember, I'm trying to draw a straight line here. If I drag it through to here, I'm not going to be able to hold a load for a long time, right? That's not efficient, right? So anyways, come through, bam, find that angle. Now I want you to do this leg sweep a couple times with the focus of keeping this strong, right? Keeping this shoulder strong and this elbow locked. Slide the leg through, land nice and soft, come back through. Slide through, come back through. If you notice that as you drag through, that your shoulder's coming disconnected, your elbow's coming disconnected, that could be a few things. One is maybe you have your hand too close to your leg. If I come through like this, something has to give because I don't have enough room, right? If you create a little more space, maybe you have more room. So the get up, it's one of those moves that every time you practice it, be ultra aware of where all these placements are, because you can make these small minor adjustments until you really find your groove, right? All right, so we're going to go through a whole one here again. Roll over, press it up, drop, 45-degree angles, roll up to elbow, pause. I recommend a 2-second pause at each stage to download this information. And on this get up, I'm going to be watching my imaginary bell the whole time. Come up to the palm, make it strong. Very important once you get comfortable with this stuff and you're doing it loaded, that you watch that bell. If you take your eyes off of it, the nervous system freaks out, the stabilizers go nuts, and you could potentially lose that load. So now I just hinge under the load a little bit, drive up, bam. Get on railroad tracks, stand, complete the movement, big step back, quiet knee, open hip, touch, draw your straight line, find the kettlebell. And also notice, when I came into this half kneeling position, I know the load is overhead. So now I'm looking straight forward, right? All the way until stand, straight forward. It's when I get ready to go back to the ground that I find the load again. So again, I'm making this shoulder strong, this elbow strong, dragging through, coming to elbow, pushing back and away, right? So what you want to think about is the get up is a bunch of small moves that makes up one perfect one, right? So the reason that I pause or recommend pausing at each stage for approximately 2 seconds is you're downloading that each stage into your mind and your nervous system, right? If you rush through the get up, you're never really owning each stage of it, right? So you're limiting your potential to go heavy, in my humble opinion. I do extremely heavy get ups, and it's not because I'm strong-ish, but it's because I'm efficient as hell at moving around the load, right? So that's just food for thought. All right, so now we're just gonna add a bell real quick, right? When you grab the bell, first of all, look at it and say, I'm stronger than you're heavy. And if you don't believe that shit, then don't do it, right? You must be safe in these movements, right? So anyways, get here. I'm gonna pull this bell into me nice and close, right? This is light for me, but I'm going to pretend it's the heaviest bell in the building, right? So when I get to the heaviest bell in the building, this just comes naturally. So don't take the load for granted and just get lazy in the movements, right? Own the light ones, own the body weight ones, own them all, right? So anyways, roll over, press up with 2, firing range position. Now that I have a bell in my hand, I'm gonna take one extra thought. If this bell is over my face like so, that seems pretty stupid, right? If my arm were to go numb, it would fall right on my face. The kettlebell's out here. If for some reason my arm just decided not to play anymore, it would go there instead of on my forehead, right? So roll over, press it up, safety firing range position, drop to your 45-degree angles, and drive up. Pause. I'm watching the bell. I'm watching my target. To palm. Pause. Make sure everything is stable. Drag through. Now hinge under the load. Boom. Get in line. Stand. Big step back. Reopen. Touch the hip. Come straight down. Drag the leg through. Come back to elbow. Absorb back and away. And always, always bring it back to torso and park it here safely, right? There's none of this type of stuff. You get away with that for so long and then you do something stupid and hurt yourself, right? A way to switch around the head from side to side is simply doing a little halo around your head. When it gets really heavy, you just simply switch positions and start on the other side, right? Pretty simple. Just a few quick little things that can make or break the get up. And the biggest one is coming up to the elbow. You might see on YouTube University a lot, people come up to this elbow position, the leg pops up, and they're doing this like sit up thing to try and get up. That's not an efficient way to get the kettlebell up. It's more of if I were laying in bed like so, for some reason, right, and I had a very annoying alarm clock just 45 degrees off of my shoulder, and it was going off, I wouldn't take the time to do this sit-up thing and go over there and turn it off. I would simply go right to it, right? So it's really keeping this shoulder down, rolling into the rib cage a little bit, and as that roll happens, you're pulling with that elbow, and you're going in this direction and back away. It's not, that's a limiting factor. Boom, boom, right? So to me, that's one of the biggest things. If you can't come up to the elbow safely, then you're pretty much not doing get-ups that day, right? I mean, you have to be able to get that. So that's just a few short little tips on the get-up. We can go a mile deep into that stuff, but if you kind of follow these little general outlines, I'm pretty much going to guarantee you your get-up's going to get better and more efficient, right? So that's the get-up. Always remember that strength is a skill, right? The more skillful you get at this stuff, the better results you're going to get, the stronger you're going to get, and the overall result's going to be better. Simply just going through the motions, it doesn't work, right? I mean, you're just wasting your time, in my humble opinion. So stay strong, my friends, and I hope your get-ups get better due to this little tutorial.